This is what Spirit wants you to know right now. If you are experiencing different thoughts, distorted thoughts, conflicting thoughts, perspectives, you're not sure, what about this, what about that? Be sure that you have exposed your consciousness. Perhaps it's been like that for a while, but you have then exposed your consciousness to other energies than purely truth. That is what that is simply what is needed is more protection of the light. And what is the light? Truth. Honesty. Directness. Like, what's the purpose? What, like, no sneaky undercurrents, you know? That's what's so important. And when you are entertaining other beings, perhaps being fixated on external other beings, then you are placing your focus outside and you are receiving information about the being that you are focused on. So if you are focusing too much on one being, you are receiving the information of what that being has going on. If you are open to them. That's just how it is. And so this is why it's so important to close realities with people that we don't want to have access to our energy system. It's important that we close those realities. If the heart is involved, that's when it matters. If the heart has been hurt, if you never trusted them in the first place, like you haven't even opened your heart. So then it's like you can pretend, but this is more, it's when you actually have cared. You did your best according to your own standards. That's the only standard that matters. That you actually feel like you did your best. And we're not talking about you can always do better. No. It's like with everything included, if I could have done better, I would have done better. The mere fact that I couldn't do any better because it happened the way that it happened. You see? But it's really important to... It's so important. It's so important for the sanity of your own consciousness to focus on your own self. And there are many beings that just wants someone to do stuff for them and help them. And that can happen both in the physical and in the sort of astral, as many beings call it. That's the thought realm. The fantasies, all of those things, all of the creation before they truly manifest. That's where there can be a lot of sneaky energies, and it depends on who you're connected with. So everything matters in consciousness. And whatever someone else hasn't dealt with, then we get tested. If it's a karmic thing. But we have been through that stuff already. So we're not so interested in commingling with beings that are not operating in pure divine light. Meaning, what does that mean? It's not some fluff. It's in consciousness, being aware of what you're stepping into. It's always important. Being aware, and once you are aware, and you have had an experience with an individual, it's very healthy to just send them off, to just let them be. And this is something that, this is coming full circles, because we notice that we are working on the habitual of experiences from the past that sort of wants to replay itself, but because it didn't really what is it? Oh, fuck. This is so much. This is so clarifying. Because it's how these loops gets created based on relationships and unfinished business. Unfinished, like there was a yearning for the soul here and it didn't get fulfilled because there was muck in the consciousness, on both beings, and it's so important that we use that to heal. But it needs to be real, it needs to be spoken, otherwise it can really easily turn a little bit like, because unless it's actually, you either with someone and you're working things out properly in depth, or it's better not to, really. It's only of benefit people coming together to serve the light, but people need to know what serving the light is. Serving the light is not serving some plant medicine and then that's it. There's a lot much more to it. Noticing, guiding, like it's so much. There's nothing wrong with plant medicine, but the consciousness of what the light is and what it is not is what is important for each human being to receive training on. Because we see a lot of children playing around with energy, not fully realizing what things are. And so what we saw is that we have been through a little bit of a revisit from the last round. Now much less, it's almost like an echo. This is what can happen in these rounds. In the last round we were working on opening up our heart, right? And because of that, we sort of got a little bit entangled with that. And so it's like, did we did we open prematurely? Absolutely, probably, but we opened. And we are grateful for that. And that has led to us being open to more people in general. It's just opened our heart. But we have to also make sure that we are learning how to stay open and have it be so that we don't close again, but also that we get to stay centered in our own space. That's what's important. It's not easy to stay open. It's very easy to close the heart. Very easy with misunderstandings and things like that. It's very easy. That's why honesty and communication is so important for the maintenance of that purity, that joy to last. Otherwise it's so easy for just muck to cover the lens. That's why it's better to just let things go and sort of like sever whatever the thoughts and all of that and just let it be. It doesn't mean it has to be closed forever. It just means this is not ready now. And that's okay. You know, dealing with whatever the body goes through. And this is the thing, it's so easy to think your way away from these things. It's very easy. All of these deep feelings. It's very easy to just have a story and you don't even fucking touch it. You know? Because you're pretending up here and you're not actually feeling what's going on. That's what usually leads to stuff in the body, so that the gaia is trying to get through to you. Hey, you know? And if you're really, really ignorant of what gaia is, she starts to swack you through people, through situations, through, not because she's trying to tell that you're a bad boy or a girl or something like that. It's just because you've done some shit with your frequency that produces that crap. Stop it. It's what that means. You know? And this is how we get course corrected by Gaia. This is how it happens. And our version of that was a karmic twin relationship, which was completely yeah, it had potential in the beginning. It had potential. And if we would know better, we would of course do better, but we didn't. We know now. Right? That's how you know that everything is perfect. You can't argue with that because it happened. That's what makes it true. That's what makes it factual. And what this experience of the body felt. Right? It was a horrible experience on many levels. It was a wonderful experience on many levels also. Because we got to practice forgiveness, truly. Which we had distortions about. We thought it was just us taking all the blame. Not seeing the energetic truth. You know, we had to go through a lot of lessons to get to where we are today. To see this clarity that we are seeing. This is why we can help so many beings. Because we can guide beings back into harmony with their own energy, because we can feel what's not that energy. And everyone can learn this. Everyone can practice and become a master at this. It takes, just like anything, practice and dedication to course correct so many misperceptions that we have learned in our life. And that is the only way home. Once you know that, it's like, for us, it's the most important thing that we do in a day, is that we get in touch with that truth. And if we feel that it's drifted too far, we're like, you know, we notice and we have to course correct. Because that's the only way that you keep your own ship in balance. Speaking truth, being connected to your own joy, being connected to your own stream of higher intelligence, so that you receive your own downloads, so that you don't outsource that to some other being. We did that with channeling in the dualistic perspective. Our own intuitive abilities, we outsourced that to other beings. It's not meant to be outsourced. You're not meant to listen out there to channeling. Do it to train, but you can use the outside too. But make sure that you have developed enough repertoire with your body that it tells you who to listen to. That's the correct thing there. What we do here in this channel is that we course correct the mind back into harmony with what we call the holistic perspective, because currently many beings are very twisted in their energy, and this is what people call the subconscious. It is what Gaia is all about, is what intuition is all about, and we are here to clarify a lot of myths of this, what they call magic and all of this. We're here to guide people back in harmony with who they truly are, learning what magic that you truly possess and that you can reign when you have practice. There is a practice to us. First you have to go through these cycles and get out of these entanglements, and that takes time. If you're in them, it takes time to do that. And there can still be remnances, which we are experiencing, you see? Opening up the heart, it is where we last left it. And so there were some things that needed to be sort of dusted off. You know, we had some experiences of us feeling like 14. We had to move through that. And then now we are having some remnants of that in this cycle. This is the repetition, but it's much less because of everything we've been through in the last 28-day round. And so this is us working on massaging and course correcting this so that it is clean, so that we are letting people be. Letting people be. We don't have to dictate anything. These are old narcissistic straitjackets, sort of. it turns into narcissism. Or it's sort of like, it can be, you know, it's one in the equation. It's just this unbalance. It creates this unbalance in relation to people. And we're so grateful for Gaia for inspiring the beings that she brings into our field in order to course correct our own life. And we are here to guide all of you to comprehend Gaia and how to really truly work with her. Because that's an art that has been sort of like burnt with the witches type of thing, you know, like, and all of the Jesus times and all, you know, like it's been really tried to hushed, all of this information, all of the most natural ways that you can actually ascend in frequency. So if you're joining us, please subscribe and comment how you found this video. Let us know, and we'll talk to you again in the next one. Your blessed beings. Ciao.